How to teach your guinea pig to spin in under 10 minutes. Start out by holding out the treat and being really patient, and when they start to nibble on the treat, that's when you're going to start to move your hand. The concept is simple. You're going to move your hand and the treat in a circle, but I'm going to give you some more specific tips that'll help you. So as you're moving the treat in a circle around them, you want to move it really slowly and only move it forward when they're actually nibbling on it. So the goal is that they're kind of nibbling the treat the whole entire time it's moving, so their nose stays exactly where you're intending for it to stay. After getting a couple complete circles, you'll notice that they are starting to move a little faster and really starting to get it. So this is when you can in turn start to move the treat a little faster, and rather than moving it really slowly in a full circle while they nibble the whole time, you can start to move it in kind of sections. So effectively you're giving them treats at, say, 3 parts of the circle. So every third of a circle, you are going to stop the treat, give them a second to eat it, and then go to the next third of the circle. As long as they are still fully completing the circle and following the treat, then you are going to treat them 1 fewer times. So that means you're going to do a whole half circle now before giving them the second to eat the treat. And then when they do that really well, then you're going to wait until they complete the whole entire circle to let them nibble on the treat. So this way you're essentially teaching them the circle in a few steps. So you're kind of just teaching them to turn and turn and turn, and then you're teaching them to do a half circle, and then you're teaching them to go in a complete circle. And this is one of the most effective ways of teaching animals. It's far more effective than expecting them to figure out a whole entire circle and then get rewarded for that. In general, anytime we are training our guinea pigs or any other animal, we want to break it up into steps, make it a little easier, and then we can make it a little harder as we go on. So that's exactly what we're doing here by breaking the circle up into 3 or 2 spots. Now the next step is to get them to start following your finger, because we want them to be able to just do the tricks when we ask for it, right? We don't always want to have a treat right in their face. So what I like to do is start moving my hand further and further down the treat so that the treat is more hidden in my hand a little more each time. So at first I am holding the very edge of the treat, right? And they're eating the end of the leaf, but they have access to most of it. And then I'll hold the leaf like in the middle. And then I will hold it all the way at the bottom, so I'm basically holding the whole entire leaf within my hand, and they're only able to see the very edge. And then that yields very well to them just seeing your hand, because in this way you're kind of breaking it up again, making it a little easier. They're going from 100% of a treat to 50% to 1% to no treat at all. However, super important here is that we are still giving them the treat. It's just that they're now not having full access to the treat. So we're no longer babying them and essentially holding their hand. They're actually doing the trick with a hand signal, and then they're getting the treat at the end. So they kind of have to trust us for a second and assume that they're going to get the treat. So for the spin, I think it's very natural to just hold your finger and move it around in a circle. I think that that's just a really natural hand signal that comes about from how you taught this trick in the first place. And lastly, it's always a great idea to practice the other tricks that they know. So here we're going to practice a couple stands, because that's what we learned last week. And this will just help keep it fresh in their mind and also really cement that skill, because as they practice that skill further and further apart and kind of randomly and just all over the place, that's what really truly teaches them this skill as like a habit in their mind, rather than something they really have to think about and try to figure out every single time. If you want to learn more tricks or other care or DIY relating to guinea pigs, please feel free to subscribe, like it to let me know you liked it, and consider joining our Spark team, where we talk all about tricks and even give out trick titles.
Yes! Oh my god, he learned so quick!